Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Dragon Ball Nation. Today I'm giving you guys another Dragon Ball Super review. This time covering episode 56. Pretty solid episode. A lot of people saying it's like, top 10, top 5, well, I guess not top 10. Top 5 episodes of Super. I'd probably rank it pretty high myself. Initial viewing, although I had a headache basically the whole time I watched it. But that doesn't really matter much because I powered through it anyways. But nice lighthearted bits in this episode, but in the beginning of the episode, what we see is that from the last episode, we understand that the, I guess, militias or the you can generically call them, that resistant force is attacking Goku, shooting grenades, it looks like, at him, grenade launchers. Trunks disposes of those bombs and explains that this is not Goku Black, it's very different. And everyone seems to be like, oh, it's Trunks, we're surprised you're still around, I guess. And he explains to everyone, it looked like one of the militia guys wanted Trunks' autograph. They're kind of like fanboying over Trunks, which I thought was kind of interesting. Trunks had no real care, of any of that stuff really occurring. He didn't really care that they were thinking he was such a big deal. He's just like, where the heck, let me just get settled back in here, essentially, is what was going on from what I could gather. And of course he finds Mai's hat, and they went to this new area because there's a new base after Black destroyed the old one. And what happens then is that he does see Mai, and they do have their little heart-to-heart thing. And what is there are basically pretty much the only survivors around, presumably on the entire Earth. Mai thought that Trunks was dead, and obviously Trunks thought Mai was dead. But it was interesting to see that, Mai was going through, the rest of those, however many days had passed, thinking that Trunks was actually dead, instead of maybe assuming, maybe he did get to the time machine, all sorts of crap. Who knows? I'm not really going to harp on it too much. But what I liked seeing here, besides the whole thing about, all these people that have been, just had everything taken away, and we get to see these moments with these two little kids who, one of them is afraid of Goku, because obviously he looks like Black. I like that there is this moment where Trunks does make a funny face to cheer the kid up, basically. I can still see it. Not everyone does completely trust Goku, or there is still, obviously, there's gonna be remorse. There's gonna be like, well, this guy looks like, that guy, and it's just not very good. But what I really liked, and I know it's not really Vegeta's character that actually pulled this off, but what I did enjoy is when Vegeta threw down the capsule and had the food laid out for everyone. Now, I understand that it was Bulma who put that together, and that was her idea. But just seeing Vegeta do that is pretty funny. Now, the next little bit we do see, which is something that just kind of caught me, was I saw a guy eating, and I'm like, that guy looks a lot like Yajirobe from behind. Do not make that Yajirobe, and it was Yajirobe. Now, I'm pretty sure, at least by the manga, it's not really said that Yajirobe was killed, but now I could be wrong about that because I'm going off of my memory. But I do know in the anime, they showed Yajirobe getting blasted basically through the dick, okay? Now, what's important about that is from the other episode where they did the flashbacks for future Gohan and Trunks going Super Saiyan at future Gohan's death, it's very obvious that they were taking the anime cues for the History of Trunks special. So it's weird for them to show Yajirobe alive when, in fact, from the anime special, he should, in fact, be very much dead. Very much so. And, in case you're wondering how I know it's different between the anime and the manga, I know many of you know, but I'm going to explain very briefly. In the manga, Trunks was already a Super Saiyan while training with future Gohan, and in the anime special, what happened was Gohan died and then Trunks went Super Saiyan, which is what they showed in Dragon Ball Super. So they're going off of those cues, so it's very weird to see Yajirobe. It's not as big of a plot hole as it could be because it's just used as a cameo appearance in a way. It's not really used for anything unless he comes out with sensu beans now and helps out from what happens later in the episode, which we already know of. So, we pretty much get those lighthearted moments, which is cool to see in the half of the episode, and then we get Black introduced again. And Vegeta goes Super Saiyan Blue to go against Black. I mean, they have a rock, paper, scissors match, and Goku loses, of course. Vegeta's shining moment, right? What happens is Vegeta, as you saw in the preview, was fighting Black as Super Saiyan Blue, and it does literally nothing to him. And then we basically jump right into Super Saiyan Rose. And for a second, I'm like, did Vegeta figure out how to beat Black because he was doing pretty good? And, I'm like, that's too simple. There's got to be something different about this. And then Black stops and stabs Vegeta through the chest, which I'm sure made every single Vegeta fan so happy. And that basically leaves Goku to have to take on Black on his own for now. Now, maybe Yajirobe has one senzu bean left. Obviously, it's been stated, I think, more than once that the senzu beans are gone. But maybe Yajirobe has one sticking in his ass crack and he saved it for Vegeta. I don't know. I just feel like maybe there's going to be some inconsistency with their... or actually, maybe Goku has senzu beans on him from their timeline. That's actually very possible as well. Maybe they even said something episode. Again, this is stuff that's translated live by Herms from Kanzenshuu. So if anything's missed or he didn't pick up on it, or, just like little details that I guess can't be translated live or whatever, or very difficult, obviously you have to understand that that's how it is. The whole reason behind Super Saiyan Rose is that he's apparently completely made Goku's power into his own thing. He's basically just turned into Goku kind of like biologically, which is, that's not really a good reason on why Rose is a thing. Like, obviously, sure, you could say he turned Super Saiyan, but why is it like rose colored? Why not blue, or, even just regular Super Saiyan? Like, it's a little strange, but obviously, like I said, he stabs Vegeta. Vegeta's done. And that was really shocking to see that. Obviously, I don't think Vegeta's gonna die. And even if he did, he'd obviously get revived somehow. But what's very interesting is at the end of this episode, after Goku goes Super Saiyan Blue and has his little fight with Black, which Goku still cannot match up to him at all. And I feel like Goku maybe is being a little more cautious than Vegeta was, or Black is just playing with him. What happens at the last minute or so in the episode is completely mystified to me. But I do have these summaries here. What happened was my whole stream got disconnected. I tried to pause it, and that was the biggest mistake of my life. I got put into a server queue and was not able to watch the last minute. But apparently what happens, and if I'm incorrect, someone can correct me. What happens is Zamasu comes out and says, that's enough, I want to be the one to finish Goku. So it turns out that Zamasu and Black are not the same person, which is not a surprise to me because I've already talked about this before. There was I know it's not canon, I know it's just, video game stuff and promotional stuff, but it's still very important to look at. Dragon Ball Heroes had a animated video, obviously, to promote their different missions and stuff, that featured Zamasu and Black as separate beings in the same location. Indicating that Zamasu was in some way responsible for Black or working with him, but they were very different. And I understand it's just a game, but after seeing that, I knew, like, okay, there's no way it's Zamasu. And I do think it is the older Kai. Gowasu is probably who it's going to end up being, just based on the whole fact that he does still have that earring. And I know it's so stupid, looking at the earring, but it's weird. And a few things I guess I could mention, I suppose. So I'm pretty sure that's all correct right there. But there are parts in the episode that I enjoyed a lot, most of the episode actually, but I liked all the scenes with Mai and Trunks, and they're both blushing. Mai's kind of blushing. They're like, oh, we're not like this. We're not a couple. It's like, come on, guys, come on, listen. They're probably like the two best looking people on earth now. Just get it on already. And I had a thought with when they had the kids there. Trunks was like showing like, oh, look I could be a good father one day. Hint, hint. He didn't say that, but that's the vibe I was getting. I don't know. I'm being a perv. And I do like that what was interesting, I thought, and maybe it's just me over speculating or over analyzing, There's plenty of scenes where Black has his time ring on his finger, obviously still, and it seems like the camera is very purposely trying to zoom in on a time ring or focus on as if it's going to have more importance, or they're just zooming in on it so people don't forget that is the time ring that was discussed in the Zamasu and Guasu conversations in Universe 10. Obviously, it's stuff that we knew about before. He used it to get to the main timeline, yada, yada, yada. But I think it was interesting to point that out. Also, when Black stabs Vegeta, what I thought was very interesting is when he put that little sword away, which was pretty cool looking, all that ki went back around him. So he didn't have an aura when he had the sword out. So I thought that was very interesting to see. And maybe there's some sort of trick to get his aura off of him to do more damage. I know that's kind of silly and I'm just spitballing here. But it could be stylistically, you know, just putting his aura onto his arm and that's what's giving him the blade. I don't know. But without the aura, his hair is very pink. Very, very pink. It kind of looks cool. I like the gray eyes that he's got going on. Those are just a couple of things I noticed. And then we got the preview, which I, quite frankly, completely missed what the preview was. So my predictions are going to be super fresh. Coming tomorrow, I would say I'm going to have predictions up. And this is a little, I guess, a teaser. I'm going to try to have this up in the next week because this is my review and I enjoyed the episode. And I'm so good at reviewing things. No. That's the end of my review. So if you don't give a shit about anything else, click off the video, get out of here, and don't launch you anymore. But if you want to stick around, all I gotta say is that I have a very big video coming up that I think not many people maybe have talked about in a video form. Quite frankly, haven't looked around. I am going to be doing a video talking about how strong do you need to be to become Super Saiyan. Because I think I've figured out a pretty good realm around where you gotta be. So I think that's going to be an interesting video. Maybe I'll say some things that some people didn't think of. I'll try to have that out within the next week or so. So that's basically it. My bullshit aside, give me your thoughts on the episode. How strong do you think Super Saiyan Rose is in comparison to Goku and Vegeta? Besides, obviously, very, 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 very much more so powerful. That is not proper English at all. I feel like the only way they can beat him is to do some sort of fusion or to find some weakness, you know? That just seems logical. There's most likely not going to be a fusion, I'm sure, but I'm very curious how they're going to defeat him. And then we'll have to see in the next couple episodes what actually happens. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, guys. And I'll catch you later.